Hey guys, it's me Simo Urohara, and in this video we're going to talk about one of Kubo's important answers. Finally, we have a special question and also a really good answer from Kubo about Aizen Sōsuke, his exact name and the things Kubo was planning to do with Aizen. All of these guys are things that make us rethink a lot about the names, to the point where we'll dive into some Japanese historical stories to uncover some key details about the background of certain names and also what Aizen Sōsuke's true background might actually be. But before we start guys, don't forget to support the video by hitting the like button and leave your great comments that make the comment section rich with unique ideas about the story of Bleach. And for those who want to support Simo Urohara, you can join the channel membership, support me on Patreon, or send your support through thanks donation or PayPal. Thank you so much guys. So I can say that this question is one of the best questions asked to Kubo, because it made me discover so many things, even things that Kubo himself didn't know. Can you imagine that? So this fan asked Kubo about the origin of Sōsuke's family name, Aizen, and whether it was taken from the name of a river called Aizumo in the city of Daizufu. He also asked about if Hinamori's Zanpakuto name Tobiyumi was related to that place. And then the fan asked about a certain kanji in the name of Sōsuke, the personal name of Aizen, which means right, have anything to do with the fact that Michizane Sugawara was the minister of the right? So guys, before we get into Kubo's answer, we have to break down this three-part question. The fan was wondering about the name Aizen. The name Aizen uses the same kanji as a river in the city of Daizufu, but with a different reading. In Bleach, it's read as Aizen, while the river's reading is Aizumo. That's why the fan wondered if Kubo got the name Aizen from the river that shares the same kanji. On the top of that, we have to talk about a historical Japanese figure to better understand the fan's question. Sugawara no Michizane. He was a famous aristocratic poet and politician in the early Heian period, or Heian Jidai, holding several high-ranking positions during the reign of Emperor Oda. And he also served as a check on the Fujiwara clan, this clan that the emperor was trying to reduce in influence within the imperial court. Later, the Emperor Oda abdicated the throne to his son, Daigo, who became the new emperor. It was under Emperor Daigo that Michizane was appointed as a minister of the right, Odaijin, one of the highest ranking positions. However, this angered the Fujiwara clan, who plotted to bring Michizane down, leading to his exile in the city of Daizufu. Now guys, historically speaking, there is also a legendary side to Michizane's life in exile. And Michizane loved the plum tree very much. The plum fruit in Japanese is called ume. Because of his deep attachment to it, he wrote poems to the one he had at his old residence, as if bidding it farewell and telling it he would never forget it. So the legend says that when the tree saw Michizane's attachment to it, it flew all the way to the island and city where he was exiled and planted itself right in front of his house. And this became known as the flying plum tree, or Tobiyumi. So this is how we can understand the fan's question. The name Aizen uses the same kanji as the river in the city where Michizane was exiled, just with a different pronunciation. And since Sōsuke contains the word right and Michizane served as the minister of the right to the emperor, the fan wanted to know if this was the reason behind the inclusion of that kanji. As for Hinamori's Zanpakuto name, the fan also wondered if it was related to the flying plum tree or Tobiyumi, that in the same city. And now guys, we can move to Kubo's answer. So first of all guys, Kubo said that he didn't even know there was a river called Aizumo that used the same kanji as Aizen's name, so there is no connection. But he did say something very interesting. Originally he wanted to connect Aizen to the Quincies, so he gave him a German name, Aizen, meaning the man with the iron heart. So the name actually came from the German word Aizen. Secondly guys, he confirmed that the name Tobiyumi was indeed inspired by the plum tree in Daizufu. As for the kanji in Sōsuke, Kubo said it means the person who comes from the right of everything. So guys, the most surprising part, at least for me, was Kubo revealing that he had planned to link Aizen Sōsuke with the Quincies. And this opens up so many possible scenarios, especially since Aizen isn't a new character. He appeared as early as the Soul Society arc. It really shows guys that Kubo had genuine interest in the Quincy storyline from the very early on. But the big question guys that really comes to mind is what kind of connection was Kubo planning to make between Aizen and the Quincies? Because as I said, Aizen has been in the story since the very beginning, so it's unclear whether Kubo had the same vision back then than he has now about the Quincies, about Yhwach, about the Soul King's connection to Yhwach, or even about the 1000-Year Blood War arc and all those other elements. It's hard to guess what kind of link Kubo originally intended between Aizen and the Quincies, especially since we don't know what ideas Kubo had in mind about the Quincies in those early days. And this is especially true because in the Soul Society and the Arankara arcs, Aizen's entire focus seemed to be on Hollows and Shinigami through the holification experiments and the Hogyuku, which he relied on heavily as his main weapon to face the Royal Guard and remove the Soul King. Later through the novels, some additions in the anime and even the Everything But the Rain flashback, we saw hints that Aizen has some past interactions with the Quincies, such as Masaki's intervention in Ishin's fight against White, Yhwach meeting with Aizen in the Mugen, and a flashback in the novel to when Aizen was still a captain, telling Tosen that he knew there was a king of the Quincies and even knew his objective. So I think Kubo's newer direction with Aizen made him focus more on Hollows than on Quincies in his plan. But perhaps if we knew Aizen's true background, we might have a complete picture of why he knew. For example, about Yhwach's goal and about the Soul King. Another question guys we can ask is, has Kubo truly abandoned the idea of Aizen having some kind of connection to the Quincy, or is he simply holding it back to develop into something much bigger later on? At this point in the story guys, we know almost nothing about Aizen's current goals. We don't know what he's planning, where he is, or what moves he might be making behind the scenes. Even his true background remains shrouded in mystery. Could there be hidden events in his past that tie him to the Quincy in ways we haven't been shown yet? Or is Kubo saving Aizen for a completely different purpose? One that could shake the foundation of the story when the time comes. Until Kubo decides to reveal more guys, all we can do is speculate. And with Aizen, that speculation can go in some very unexpected directions. So guys, what do you think about Kubo's answer? What kind of relationship was going to happen between Aizen and the Quincies? Do you think, for example, Aizen could be one of the sons of Ryu or something like that? Tell me guys your opinions in the comments and see you in my next video.